Time now for an in-depth look at the market news this afternoon, and for that I'm joined on the line by Dr. Jun-sok, Professor of Economics at the Catholic University of Korea. Professor Yang, thank you for coming on as always.
Happy to be here.
Well, tensions rising with North Korea suddenly, which is causing some concern about the South Korean economy. What effect do you see this having on the financial markets and the real economy?
Okay, well, as far as the financial markets are involved, if you look at the results of the last 10 years, after the first North Korean bomb testing and missile testing, when it did affect the market significantly negatively, after that, North Korea saber rattling, bomb testing, missile testing did not really affect the market, and that seems to be more or less what is happening right now. Kospi, if you look at the last 3 trading days, it dropped 2% on Friday, minus 4.9% on Monday, and then it rose 5.3% yesterday when they actually did blow up the liaison building. But that came toward near the end of the trading day, so it might not have had that much of a direct effect. But even today, Kospi only fell by 0.4%. And then Kosdaq, similar results. Friday and Monday, we had significantly negative results. Yesterday, it went up by 6.1%, and today it fell, but not too much, 0.8%. So while the saber rattling at the end of last week and on Monday did seem to have some contributory effect, the actual blowing up of the liaison building didn't seem to affect the financial market very much, and that's roughly consistent with how the market has treated North Korean threats in the last 5 or 6 years. Now, as far as the real economy is concerned, if the situation gets more serious, if it does come to military blows, we might see some real effect. But so far, it's a saber rattling on the North Korean side. So I think the coronavirus is going to be a much bigger factor than North Korean threat.
Right. Well, overnight, stocks were up on Wall Street after U.S. retail sales jumped by a record amount. The indices continuing to regain the big loss we saw last Thursday. What's the story in the global markets?
Okay, well, globally, the U.S. market, as you just mentioned, seems to be recovering, not only because of the good retail figures, but there's also the Fed has mentioned that they will start buying corporate bonds through the secondary market corporate credit facility. They have been saying that they will do so for quite some time, but on Monday, they actually went ahead with that plan, and I think that is affecting the market very positively because that also removes a big chunk of risk from companies. But still, the recovery of the market hasn't really made the talk about possible bubbles in the market die down. A lot of people still feel that the market is somewhat overvalued given the current coronavirus conditions, the earnings, the returns on equity, for economic outlook. The Fed has mentioned that the U.S. economy will be slow until 2022, and that implies that rest of the world's economy will be slow until 2022 as well. And other factors such as total value of capitalization in the stock market versus the GDP do seem to say that U.S. stock market may be at a level of some bubble in the market. European markets are not doing as well, though they are doing somewhat better. Yesterday, they haven't opened their market yet, so we don't know how it'll do today, but at least yesterday it was doing well. Asian markets today seem to be mixed.
Well, the Fed certainly is front and center here. Chairman Jerome Powell, he said that a full economic recovery will not be possible unless there's a coronavirus vaccine. What do you make of that statement, Professor Yang?
Okay, well, every economist who's not in finance side, every economist who's not on the Wall Street side, and most international organizations who do economic analysis has mentioned that recovery from the coronavirus needs to follow these 3 steps. First, coronavirus has to end or at least be firmly under control. And then secondly, consumer confidence must be regained so that people will feel safe going out doing economic activities like working or shopping. And then third, you need to have a recovery from the effects of the coronavirus shutdown, lockdown, and recession, which can basically start only when people feel confident about going out and work and shop. Now, we really haven't had the end of the first step yet. We haven't really controlled the coronavirus for the United States and Europe. So until that takes place, we really can't start using our economic models to say when the recovery is going to be and how good the recovery is going to be. If you look at the numbers that international organizations such as IMF, World Bank, and OECD have presented as 2020 forecasts, they're wildly different. And the reason is that as mentioned, we don't know when the coronavirus will end. We don't know when the consumer confidence will come back. So people are making their best guesses. But until these two steps takes place, we can't really use the economic models to estimate what the future economy is going to be.
You're fascinating. All right, Professor Yang, we'll have to leave it there for today. Thank you, as always, for coming on.
Thank you.